This is TWiT.
This confirms a story that Mark Gurman had, who's also a great Apple rumor distributor over at Bloomberg. He said that Apple will have a VR-like pair of glasses in 2021, and in 2022 or 23, they will have actual spectacles that are AR spectacles. Phil, does this match what you've been hearing?
Yeah, but I've also, I'm still waiting for the transparent iPhone from 2017.
Okay, Scoble owes me something for that because that never happened.
Yeah. Look, I think so. I have a hard time thinking about technology advancements in the abstract. I prefer to think of what are the actual use cases that are going to be magical. Like, what do we want to do? So when we're thinking about AR, like it's easy to think about, okay, if I had this like AR headset that was, that was on all the time, well, how would it improve meetings, for example? And we actually designed a bunch of storyboards and features about what we would do to make meetings better with AR headsets. This was even back in Evernote times. But now all of my meetings are looking at a monitor, right? So I can take some of those ideas of how would we make meetings better if we had like ambient always on information, and we could just apply them. We don't need AR, right? Our actual reality has moved into big monitors for at least, the next months or a couple of years, or at least a large part of it will be. And so I think it's really interesting to sort of take the use cases that we've been storyboarding and designing for AR and just see, okay, well, now that our reality has moved online so much, how do we just introduce this? And we don't need the headset anymore.
Yeah.
I've got a 37-inch monitor strapped to the front of my face for 14 hours a day now.
Sadly, yes.
It all just kind of works. And then once we have those use cases figured out, whether they be in entertainment or home repair or improving meetings or productivity or how we communicate, eventually, sure, we'll be getting out of the house more and more again, and hopefully by then we'll have better AR headsets and hardware, and we can port some of those use cases over to it. The problem I had with Magic Leap, for example, was always that like it was shockingly cool. Like I loved using it, but I never heard of like, what are the actual
what do you
use
do
cases?
with this?
Would be great. Other than a couple of ones that everyone talked about, which was like training neurosurgeons. For some reason, there was always like you can use it to like train brain surgeons.
I know. If you see a brain surgeon working on you and he's wearing Magic Leap, I'd run if you can.
Yeah.
It's like somebody looking at the manual.
Well, it's like I think, Leo, you and I are roughly the same age. I think, or maybe exactly. When I was growing up, when personal computers first started becoming a thing, there wasn't really like a lot of commercial software yet. The computer manufacturers would always like sell you the idea that like, you could if you buy this Atari computer, you can use it to. There's always two use cases. There's always balance your checkbook and store your recipes.
Yes.
It was always like balance your checkbook and store your recipes.
Both categories have died, by the way. They know.
I'm still not sure what balancing a checkbook means. I don't think I've ever done it. But those were the two things. And like for AR, it was always like, you can use it to train brain surgeons. Right. That is the balance your checkbook and store your recipes.
That's what happens when we don't know what's going to happen. We make up weird use cases. Focal, which made North, which made the Focal 1 glasses and was working on the Focal 2 glasses, just got acquired, or it's more like an acqui-hire by Google. But those were glasses that actually were real. We had a review on Hands On Technology. Anthony Nielsen, one of our producers, loves them. And that was just notifications. It has a heads-up display, and it was just putting notifications. I mean, that's the most obvious use, is kind of an adjunct to your phone.
There's a really cool pair of smart glasses made by Jins in Japan. These are normal glasses, but these are by Jins. Jins is it's just this really cool Japanese eyewear company, and they have smart glasses that don't have any display. They just have a bunch of sensors, including there's like a sensor, and they look totally like normal glasses. Like you can't tell there's anything like that. It's a new generation. It just looks like glasses. There's a sensor that goes on the bridge of your nose. And by basically measuring what's going on with the bridge of your nose, they can detect all sorts of stress, emotion, focus, fatigue, and just gives you, so there's a next generation of that, which this is the old generation. Maybe the next generation isn't out yet. Or maybe it is.
I'll look and see. Yeah, this is the Jim's Meme ES.
Yeah, there's this, and there's like a new generation of that, either out or coming out, I think. And it's really cool. But it's a different direction. It's not AR at all. There's actually no display, but it can do all sorts of things about, telling you about your posture, your focus, your concentration, how fatigued you are. So I think there's we've been focusing a lot on like the immersive displays because those are like sexier. But honestly, the first gen and even the second gen of these wearables is probably the sensors are going to be more important than the display capabilities.